Celeste Rune Knight. My goal building the deck was where Chthonian Nightmare is the best card. I really like that card. The game plan is to repeatedly return small creatures from my graveyard to buff all my creatures with Celeste. I also like to loop creatures like Kami of False Hope and Selfless Spirit, my man. There's also a Mishra Meld as a full fun backup plan. I would like to highlight the small Rebel package and keep it in and potentially expand on it. I have no restrictions. My playgroup is very proxy friendly. The biggest issues I have with the deck is that the early turns can be really clunky. I have trouble filling the graveyard early, and the deck relies on a lot on the commander being on the battlefield for a long time. I like to feel competitive in bracket 3. Okay, so luckily, because you are a black sack graveyard deck, your commander being on the battlefield is actually the easiest of these things to fulfill. You're able to return your commander with Chthonian Nightmare if you have like small creatures that you are like juggling in the graveyard and you're banking positively on energy. Okay, Crack J, what's going on here? I'm not clicking on your Shopify. Sitting at your desk all day, I found some surprising. You're not a human being. You're blocked. You're banned. Get out of here. Your fucking advertisement. No one buy those. Anyway. Put the link back. I have not had a spam bot like that in so long. Okay. Tormod's very cute. I don't know if Tormod's very good. Sadly. I do like Tormod a lot, though. But, Skeleton Crew Mogs, I'm afraid. You're just able to return this as well for 6 mana, and then you don't care about anything other than creatures leaving your graveyard anyway. I don't like the Duke. You already have Giver Mother. And okay, weird. You don't have the stupid card. You have Recruiter, which is probably okay enough. We're running Rebels? We're running Rebels? Do you mind unbanning me? Yeah, sure. I can pass that message along to mods. Oh, these are all Rebels. Anywhere other than the battlefield, though. Do you only run 2 Rebels? Oh, there's the third. No, it is Lin Civi herself. Wait, we don't run Niali? That's like broken. Niali's fucked up and evil if you're gonna have a Rebels package at all. Get back here. Yeah, Niali, Sun's Vanguard. Attacking tokens you control have double strike. Whenever one or more tokens attack a player, exile the top card of your library. So if you have anything that's like on death, make token, you're like set for life. But honestly, it might just be right not to run Rebels. As cute as of an idea of it is, as it is. Because I don't think any of these cards are particularly that good. You can cut the Rebels if you think it's best. Yeah, you already have Recruit of the Guard. You're creating a lot of reliability with just small creatures. You also have Starfield Shepherd. Sun Titan, I think, is a little too slow for this kind of deck. I don't know if I like Revenge Revival. It's kind of funny. It's like a nuke them option in the late game, and then early game it's like get back a sack fodder or whatever. But I don't know. I just find the card to be too clunky, too expensive. So we have Faithless Looting. I don't know why we have a Chaser in our deck. Oh, because whenever one of our cards leave. That's funny. Is it that good? Probably. It's actually probably okay, but I don't know. I just don't think Tor mods are the way to build this kind of deck. Probably don't run Jaxus. Like, I'd prefer you run Felia, in all honesty. It's just cheaper. Kind of does a similar thing. You could probably do with cutting a land. You can probably just start at 40 and work from there. So anyway, Felia in. I fail to see how we're getting fear of missing out online with this feud spread of card types. Like, it's still a good card. Just, I don't know, it's kind of mid, I think. All right, let's talk about Aether Revolt. Dink. As long as a permanent left the battlefield this turn, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Whenever you get 1 or more energy, Aether Revolt deals that much damage to any target. So now Chthonian Nightmare starts lightning bolting things, or dealing 6 every time you do it if you sack a creature, which you will because you're playing Chthonian Nightmare. So here's Aether Revolt. Since we're here, Dead Guide of Souls. Right, Guide of Souls, hooray. Creatures are entering all the time because of a thing called Chthonian Nightmare. So since we're here, let's add Moonblessed Cleric. Because your issue isn't getting small creatures that you can loot. You have a billion of those. You're set. Your issue is getting the Chthonian Nightmare. And Moonblessed Cleric's literally the best at doing that because you can play Moonblessed Cleric, get Chthonian Nightmare on top, play Chthonian Nightmare, sack the Moonblessed Cleric, bring something back from your graveyard that you milled earlier, and then maybe in future you bring back Moonblessed Cleric, you get Aether Revolt. You can start fucking dealing 6. Like, that shit's real. That shit's real. I like Jaxus and the History Chaser and Quint because they get cards in the graveyard. Yeah. That's true. I'm also just going to say that you're not going to have any trouble getting cards in the graveyard. I'm looking at your deck right now. But also, we're going to add a couple cards to help maybe even get that into a better state. So, what is that going to look like, though? Because you have Season Pyro. Season Pyro is pretty good. I might be interested in like a Ripples of Undeath. Ripples could be pretty interesting here. You can do the Hideaway card. Hideaway's a lot of fun. Yeah, let's do Hideaway. Cemetery Tampering. Mill 3 at the beginning of your upkeep, and then when you have 20 more cards, you can free cast the Hideaway card. And then you could also run the Hideaway land in white, which is really easy to activate. That is Windbrisk Heights. And you could probably run the red one too, the more I think about it. But Windbrisk Heights is a super fun card because now you get to build around it a little bit. You cut in other planes. I know we're going kind of low on basics, but as long as you have about 6 and 3 color, you're going to be kind of fine. Okay, so, and we're not like a landfall deck or anything, or rampant growths or anything. So we're going to do a Maria's Call because now this is something you can Windbrisk Heights into. This is something you can Cemetery Tampering into, right? It's a land drop, but it's also a giant fuck off 7 drop like that makes 8 power flying idiots, right? That's a very good 1-2 punch to have access to. You could also do something like the Dollmaker Shop. Dollmaker's Shop. 2 mana. Whenever a non-toy creature attacks a player, create a toy. Okay, that's sack fodder. You can play that early. It makes tokens. That's very good for Celeste +1/+1 counter ability, right? There's a lot of things going for this card for 2 mana, make a token thing. But also, it's Porcelain Gallery. Creatures you control have base power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. So if you get it under one of the hideaway cards, you can cast it, and it's a fucking 6-drop that feels great. You have Starfield Shepherd already. You kind of have Angel of Indemnity as like these kind of expensive cards that work very well for you. We already have Thraben Charm. We already have Kabira Takedown. Very good. I like the Swords to Plowshares pick, although maybe it is better as an Accursed Marauder. Accursed Marauder is, of course, a removal spell that you can loop, which is pretty important. I've been kind of off of Unearth, especially if my commander isn't 3 mana. Museum Mortars, I love to see it. Winds of Abandon, I love to see it. You know exactly what you're doing. It's killing your opponents, not going for a long game. Great. So we have 3 slots we get to play with now. I'm just trying to think what they would be. We could go for Dredgers because you have a lot of draw than discard effects, which are very good. Yeah, we could put Swords back in. That is true. The Thraben Charm is already there. People are waking up. Honestly, you should be seeing Thraben Charm in every deck. That shouldn't even be like a hot take elk opinion. It should just be like in every white deck. Not every white deck. Some white decks don't run creatures that much, but if you crest 25 creatures, Thraben Charm should be in your deck. Because that plus your commander is going to add up to killing anything you want. Can I give you Sand Scout? I think we can put Sand Scout in your deck. Just because Lazadep Quarry is so strong. You could use Arid Archway in this deck, even though it's like not helping you cast your commander on curve, which is a little problematic, but Scav Grounds is a little dangerous, but we'll just cut another colorless land for it. Okay, great. So we've added a desert package to get Lazadep Quarry and Sand Scout. Wait, Sand Scout's great with mill because whenever one of our desert cards are put into the graveyard from anywhere, including milling them or discarding them. So this will just make you tokens that you can sacrifice to Chthoni Nightmare as well. Beautiful. This song's what I imagine ADHD sounds like. I guess maybe. I don't know. I like this song a lot. Jordan Mason's really overlooked kind of orchestral, like rock, weird. I don't know. He has a really weird sound I can't quite describe. I'm liking the Lurrus in your deck. I don't like Strife Knight. I think that's a little weird. Just kind of like a Rummager for 3 mana. That card's kind of cool. Oh, let's do Jacked Rabbit. When it enters, you create a number of 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens equal to Jacked Rabbit's power. So Celeste buffs it up and then you explode them. Or Jacked Rabbit gets like buffed by Porcelain Gallery, or just 2-drop that makes sack fodder early. Like literally everything you want is in this one card. Okay. And then now we can maybe look for some more redundancy to Chthonian Nightmare. My first thought is just Living Death. It's really just hard to pass that up. I know it doesn't really work with your commander all that well. Like, she's not going to trigger and make your board a billion, right? That's not how this works. You already have Bogart Trawler, which is nice. I'm going to add Bojuka Bog to your deck. And the reason is I like having Bogart. Oh, you already do. Let's not make your mana worse. Thraben Charm's already in your deck. You could probably one-side the Living Death if you want. Yeah, kind of like do like Living Death. That's not what I'm asking. Sorry. Living Death. When you Living Death everything back into play, does Celeste see the creatures leaving? Entered, if one of them, more of them enter from the graveyard, were cast from a graveyard, put a counter on each creature you control, right? She'll see herself and all those other creatures entering. I'm not crazy here. Or do you exile them first? Each player exiles all creature cards from the graveyard, then, yeah, no, so they don't return directly from the graveyard. That is, they come back because, from exile, rather. Which is a bummer, so you're not going to get a huge board, but you'll get your whole board back. There is... You don't like Living Death? Why don't you like Living Death? Living Death's so good for you. I just want to probe your brain a little bit here about why you don't like Living Death. Maybe I don't get it. I'm going to say you don't get it. Because this is a board wipe mixed with a mass recursion card, mixed with, like, you can make it one-sided with Thraben Charm or Bogart Trawler looping or etc. Right? Because when you start sacrificing a bunch of shit and you start milling a bunch of shit, and at your graveyard's like 20 creatures and your opponent's graveyards are like 3 to 2 creatures, and maybe even then you have Thraben Charm to exile them, and you make everyone sack their entire boards, and then you bring back everything from all graveyards. It's insane. Living Death is the best card in your deck. Yes, that is the best way to put it. This is the best card in any black-red based sacrifice deck. When you say it like that, it makes sense. I swear to you, this card is broken. It's evil and fucked up. That's what this card is. Normally I would put a Prowling Geistcatcher in, but I don't think this is the correct deck for it. Maybe this is a Masquerade deck. It's an enchantment, so you can get it with Moonblast Cleric. And it's really funny. Oh, but you exile the creature that you're sacrificing. That's a tough sell. But you just choose a bunch of tokens. Right, you just sack the tokens. That's okay. Yeah, because you don't care if you exile tokens. And it doesn't exile it instead, so you still get death triggers from them. I think it's fine. Let's try it out. All right, playtest. Draw. Ziggurat. Mother of Runes. Next turn. Aganjo. Pass. Velia. Next turn. Sundown Pass. We do control 2 or more other lands. 1, 2. Starfield Shepherd. Kamiya False Hope. Attack with Velia. Flicker. Starfield Shepherd. Remember, this would have been a Jaxus. In which case, we wouldn't have been doing this. Okay, Flicker Starfield Shepherd. Get Plains. Plains should actually be the basic we double up on just because of Starfield Shepherd. Next turn. Plains. 1, 2, 3. Moonblessed Cleric. Moonblessed Cleric goes and retrieves Chthonian Nightmare. I can't spell. There we go. Black Snarling Gorehound. Okay, sack Kamiya False Hope. Next turn. 1, 2. Once again, this would have been Swords to Plowshares. This enters. Surveil 1, because it's creature power 2 or less. Malakir Rebirth to graveyard. This gets sacrificed. Land for turn. Oh, we had to have tapped like that. We don't have an actual black source. This was not something I pondered. It's okay, because we can Celestig for 1 next turn. So I guess here you just Jackrabbit. X is 1, Surveil 1. Okay, top. Godless Shrine. Okay, here we go. Dink, Godless Shrine. We need to give you more black sources. Because you want to be able to cast Chthonian Nightmare multiple times in a turn. So anyway, here you can swing with Felius, swing with Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit makes 2 rabbits. And then you go red, 1, 2, black. Celeste. Discard any number of cards and draw that many cards. 1, draw. 1, 2, Chthonian Nightmare, sack rabbit. Bring back Kami. Dink. Dink, 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 dink. Is each other? Nope, just each. Okay, great. Kami's here. You sack Kami, a false hope. Next turn, right? And then here you're off to the races. I didn't even surveil for the rabbits that I made. Yeah, Starling Gorehound's great here as well, because you also surveil a bunch from the Jackrabbit. Okay, I was not impressed that game with the mana. So I'm actually going to cut Arid Archway. It's so nice to flicker Sand Scout, but honestly, it's just like, I don't think you need it. 2 colorless seems very hard for this deck, especially since you kind of have a craving for black mana, where you want to be casting Chthonian Nightmare multiple times in a single turn, and that's going to require multiple black pips to do. And you could offset the difference by running Pitiless Plunderer and Mahadi and making a bunch of treasure tokens for each thing you sack. But I'm just trying to think if maybe we can try running Filter Lands first, and then we can kind of go into like the rest of it. Meteor Crater's cool. I've never seen this card. It's from Plane Shift. I mean, I'm not running it, but it is a cool card. Let it be known. Spectator seating. I'm gonna actually be critical of the Boros ones. I think we want to have a bunch of Orzhov lands. Anyway, is Filter Land. These give you mana, right? Fetid Heath gives you black, even if you have white source this land, which is very nice. Get Graven Cairns, and then Rugged Prairie is kind of worthless to us because we don't care about filtering into white or red. We only care about filtering into black. You could run an Urborg, but I don't know. Dink, 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 budget. Because Urborg would really help you. I'm not talking about putting Cabal Coffers Urborg in. I'm talking about just Urborg, fixing Urborg. But we don't need to do all that. In fact, actually, what I think we can do is just run Weathered Wayfarer. You can put in Urborg. Okay, great. So like I said before also, we need to double up on our basic planes just for Starfield Shepherd purposes. But then we can put in an Urborg. Because Urborg's going to just make all your mana black, and then you can just spam Chthonian Nightmare all you want without having to worry. And then now we have a Weathered Wayfarer that can tutor up lands for us. So you can find every single utility land you'll ever need. You'll be fixed perfectly if you find this card, or if you find Starfield Shepherd that finds this card. Or if you find, right, there's a whole bunch of ways to tutor up this small little dinky dork. Meteor Crater is such a flavor win, and Roxanne, you're so right. Oh, wait. I'm kind of, maybe I'll put Roxanne together again for one last hurrah, and I'll just fucking, like, go full on, like, Edge of Eternity's lands for it. That could be fun. Okay, I think I like Werefalk's Bodyguard. You got me there. I do like this card. However, I'm just thinking, like, what if it was like a Detective Phoenix? Detective Phoenix. Bestow, red, collect evidence 6. Your graveyard's going to be full because we're milling a lot. And sacking stuff and discarding. And then, so that's going to be an easy ability to activate.
But also, it gives your attackers haste, of which you have a lot of attack triggers in the deck, and it also makes the attacker safe. So you can give Felia haste and flying. You can give +2/+2 haste and flying to Jacked Rabbit. Normally the +2/+2 wouldn't matter that much in a game of Commander. However, on the Jacked Rabbit, that makes now 2 extra tokens for 1 mana. That's really good, right? So Venerable Warsinger works with Detective's Phoenix as well. In fact, I might put Troll of Khazad-dûm in your deck, because Troll is a 6 mana card. And you could also, you could just run all the Lord of the Ring land cyclers. Wait. I think you just run you run Eagles, because you're a go wide deck that wouldn't mind the pump if you had to hard cast this. Oliphant. Okay, great. It gives another thing trample, and then Troll's just Troll. It's like fine. And then you cut 3 lands for these, or 2 lands maybe. Probably a Gonjo. Yeah, the 1 mana cyclers are really cool. I think they got the power right on most of them. I think Troll's was a little much. I think Troll should have just maybe had Menace or something, or maybe just not a keyword at all. Because putting that in black is really powerful. Maybe I cut the Red Desert. I just don't think that's part of the equation. Plus, you have Lazotep Core you can go fetch if you desperately need a red. You can sack a little idiot, including the Sand Scout. Yeah, okay, we're fine. Because you just need to cast your commander once. You don't really need to worry about, like, casting her again, because you're just going to be reanimating her for the rest of the game. You think they'll get a reprint in the Hobbit set? I mean, you have to reprint Lorien Revealed. There's just no way. It's not a bonus sheet kind of card, right? Plus, that kind of makes your product more chase, too. It's like, oh, look, Lorien Revealed's in the common slot. Let's go get this set, guys. Let's go draft the Hobbit. I mean, I want to draft the Hobbit because I fucking love the Hobbit, but I love any J.R.R. Tolkien media. Yeah, I think Scrapbook might goes. I think that was just there for Delirium, which we don't really need to worry about anymore. It's an okay Rummager, but I don't think it's really required. You can't keep this hand. You can keep this one, though. I know it's only white and black, but like I think that's just the core colors of your deck. So I just think you just like are okay with keeping a white-black only hand. Okay, maybe this is a little ridiculous. Dink, dink. Ping your dork or whatever. Oh, you have Demonic Council. Searching for a demon. Do we run a demon? If Lorien gets reprinted by like 20 or something, dude, if Lorien gets reprinted in like a normal like M15 frame, I am going bankrupt. I am buying so many Lorien Revealeds. If they upshift that shit to uncommon, I'm gonna fucking kill them. I'm going to kill them. But okay, I don't know if I like the Warring Triad. No demons, I'm just relying on Delirium. I just don't think you can do that. I just don't think you can do that, especially in white, where like everything that's important is a creature or an enchantment. Great news. What does white get, everyone? Creature and enchantment. So we just kind of don't have to worry that much. When you mentioned Thwaite Charm, I was reminded I need to be putting it in my catcher deck, but it's hard to cut for me. Yeah, I used to run a no catcher deck. Are we talking God Eternal Oketra or Oketra the True? Because I used to run God Eternal Oketra as a deck. God Eternal, okay. But I've seen Oketra the True, which is why I ask. I don't think that's that crazy of a question. I know Oketra the True sucks way harder than God Eternal Oketra. However, the card is actually just kind of fine. Okay. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Typical Mardu deck for Elkington. Damn, $40 for the alt version? That's crazy. Oh yeah, this returns mana value 3 or less non-aura. Okay, so I wonder if there's other cards that say leave your graveyard on them. Every time you use Chthonian, it does 2 damage to each opponent. That's not nothing. That's kind of cool. Ooh, how do we feel about like... Okay, so Pitiless Plunderer is the best one. Right, Pitiless Plunderer is 4 mana. Whenever a creature you control dies, you make a treasure. So now whenever you sack a Chthonian Nightmare and return to your hand, Chthonian Nightmare now refunds itself. But then I'm immediately like, what if we run a Familiar? What if we run a Familiar? Green and blue spells. Yeah, black and green spells cost 1 less, and then it's a 1/1 first striker. And so now black spells cost 1 less. Whenever a creature dies, you make a treasure token. Ding, 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 ding. You're able to do Chthonian Nightmare as many times as you want in a turn. Maybe it's maybe a bit cheesy. I love Orange Soul Trader over Pitiless Plunderer these days if there's a budget restriction. So they're different cards. Warren Soul Trader needs you to sacrifice the creature, and then you get the treasure token. Pitiless Plunderer does it when they die. So it works better with Chthonian Nightmare, which is the core part of this deck, is we're Chthonian Nightmaring a bunch of little weenies. So we don't have a little weenie to sacrifice and a little weenie to sacrifice to this. We need it all to be on one. Right, so Pitiless is better for that. But yes, generally I agree. Warren Soul Trader's broken as fuck. But there is reasons to be running one or the other, or yeah, or both. I run both in Judith. Carnival of Souls, I guess. True. I'm gonna say just keep the Thunderscape Familiar on your radar. Don't run it. It's going to make your deck a little bit too much of a combo deck instead of a grindy value deck. But if you want a little spice of life, want to try out a combo deck for a couple games, you're able to put it in. Right, it's 15 cents, dude. Just buy one. We keep in Pitiless Plunderer, though. What's your thoughts on the new rare Marvel lands? They tap for colorless, and then how do they tap for the colors? If it entered this turn, or if you control a type of another one. You have a basic of this. Oh, okay. So if you have a basic of it, or it entered this turn. Yeah, that cycle's cool. I hope to see it printed with not awful art. All right, we have one more card we get to add to this deck. Honestly, it might be another looting spell. Another rummager of sorts. Also looks like I only needed to buy an Urza. Oh, wow, you just already had all the cards in your collection? That's sick. Sick is an awesome. Let's just run a Bajuka Bog. Once again, I think adding the Weather Wayfarer actually pushed this over the edge for me, where I want the Bog now because I'm able to tutor directly for lands. With the Weather Wayfarer, and that makes Bog a lot more valuable. Also, Bog is just, this is now 38 lands plus 3 land cyclers, so you are going to have a really consistent mana base in terms of finding your land drops, maybe not necessarily in terms of color, because you still might keep hands like this where it doesn't have one of your colors, but honestly, I think that's right if it's Orzhov. Dink, dink, Dollmaker Shop. You could probably attack with Mom on turn 1. They're just playing Arcane Signets over there. You don't have to worry about it. So, Dollmaker Shop, you make a toy. Dink. Flamewink Phoenix. It's a cute idea. I just think Chthonian Nightmares... we already added a bunch of other, like, cards that do this better. So maybe we do add another like red source somewhere in here. Honestly, it's probably just Ifnir or Lazotep. Not Lazotep Quarry, sorry. Shefet Dunes is white. Ifnir Deadlands is black. Ramunop. Haha. I got there. I just need to think of Ramunop Excavator, which is weird because that card's green, but Ramunop Ruins is red. So discard. Okay, this hand's gorgeous. Surveil 1. Graveyard. Next turn. Caves of Koilos, rather. Dink. Dink. Yeah, I want to do this because this turn you can now Timna, which is just so incredibly broken. Oh, gorgeous. So you go one black, white, Lotho, and then you do black 1, Ripples. You get a treasure token. You crack that treasure token for Sarah Ascendant. Mom gives Timna protection. You attack with Timna, draw a card. Right, you sack Kami of False Hope. All right, next turn. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. I will pay 1 to hit my land drop this turn. Right, and then here you're off to the races to Timna Town. 2, 3. Probably drop Barrow-Goyf. We still have a treasure token, right? No, we spent it on Sarah Ascendant. That's right. Dink. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we have no means of triggering Lotho this turn, but we can. Well, I mean, unless one of our opponents triggered Lotho for us. But anyway, you draw 2 cards here, and then you're gonna start drawing 3 cards a turn. Like, fuck off. This is so good. Shoutouts Timna. All right. Awoogie, thank you for the prime. Anyway, I think this deck's ready to go. Very cool. Chthonian Nightmare looping deck. No combos with Celeste, anything like that. I've never seen Timna in casual. Yeah, but Timna is still Timna's still good. I don't think Timna's too good for casual, to keep in mind, but